works. It worked. I'm starting my live. I'm starting it early as well. I'm quite impressed with myself. I'm 5 minutes early. But I thought I'd just start yabbering on, because as anybody knows that joins Katie's Arms, that's essentially what Katie's Arms is. So I'm just going to take a few minutes and wait for everybody else to catch up. And frankly, if they don't catch up, well, fine, I'll just sit here and talk to myself for half an hour, which is fine. Hello. Thank you to everybody for joining. It's very nice to see everybody again. I have some breaking news that's quite serious, which we'll discuss before everybody else joins us. I mean, I say everybody else. It might just be us, darlings. You know, us five. The crazy old lady from the UK. I have lost. In fact, my lovely girlfriend that bought these for me, I should have fessed up to her first. Although the cherries have started to lose their colour a bit, I have lost one of my cherry earrings. And that's quite upsetting. Now, you could argue there are more newsworthy things going on that I could talk about. But actually, we all know that I do love these. I'm not asking anybody to get me new ones or begging or something, but I'm just saying, I went to put these on and there's only one. So I can wear one in a sort of artistic, strange lady with one earring way, or I could just mourn the loss, or maybe I need to check my suitcase. Anyway, so let me just bring people who don't know what this is. Make it into a lovely keyring. Oh, I love people like that. You see, my brain's not like that at all. I don't think, let's make it into this. I just think, shit, where's the other earring? But you guys are like, why not make it into a badge? I'm not sure if I've got those skills, my loves, if we're honest. Let me just, for people that don't know what the bloody hell this is, apart from some woman with strange hair banging on. I mean, that's essentially what it actually is. We all come together. I think you lost your cherries long ago. That is rude. I have been celibate for literally... No, I haven't. I haven't ever done that. I was speaking to someone yesterday, the day before, that told me their daughter was celibate for 7 years. I mean, it's very noble. It's very noble. But no, not me. Anyway, I digress. Yes, so the Katie's Arms is essentially our pub online that we have together. And one day we're hoping it's going to be real. And the idea is that I'm going to take over Wetherspoons, and every Thursday, Friday, I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday? Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, we'd have like a Katie's Arms in every different Wetherspoons across the UK. Right, that's my long-term plan. Tim from Wetherspoons is not quite on board with this yet, but you know what? I can make men do things I want, right? So I'll continue to work on him. But for now, we do this online. The name came about because of these, and people were talking about my arms a lot because I now have guns. And these guns came about in response to being locked down, because I was like, right, you're going to lock us down? I'm going to fucking build myself so strong you're going to be scared of me in the street. And it works a lot. I get a lot less shit on a daily basis because people think I'm up to something or am a member of Mossad. So it's great. Other people think I'm a transsexual. I don't know what to do about that. And I'm very happy with that as well. Other people probably just think I'm a frickin' nutter. Also very fine. So welcome to everybody. Are we actually at the start time? Don't fear, you weren't late, and we haven't missed everything. Not that there's anything to miss. I just started talking because I happened to be sat down. I'm sorry for missing Katie's Arms the other day. Also, I don't know where the hell I bloody well was, but I knew it was an impossibility. And the only thing now is that we are currently 8 hours out. A cocktail called Offerty Piss. And so I'm not currently drinking. So what I'm thinking is I will work out when I'm next going to be in one place that also has Wi-Fi and where I'm not being molested or shot or whatever. And we will have a Katie's Arms, but I will do it at a time where I'm going to drink. And if that involves daytime drinking for me, so be it. I'm going to give that up for the cause. I'm going to do it. Good evening. Yes. Oh, isn't it? You guys are having your evening. So there's some rules to Fight Club. Katie's Arms. And the rules of Katie's Arms, as many of us know, yes, it's a pub called Katie's Arms. Good. National insurance contributions to increase by 1.25% from April 2022. Good, and we will talk about that. I tell you what, I'm pissed off because I'm going to be paying additional contributions even though I didn't take a penny from this bastard government for the whole of furlough, whilst my other friends were having a jolly nice time on furlough. Many people bought new vehicles and new holidays and all sorts of fun things with their starter or restart or booster loans that they don't ever have to pay back. And now I have to pay extra contributions, many of you will know. Right, so the rules of Fight Club or Katie's Arms are 1, you have to bring your sense of humour. 2, you have to try and drink if you can. And I'm really sorry that I'm not part of that. I'm not going to pretend to you, why would I? And the third thing is we don't really do super negative, and we don't really do, or if you're going to criticise, expect to just be, I am going to be rude to you and I'm going to require you to off-tee piss. And the general rule of Fight Club, Katie's Arms, is off-tee piss. So our default answer to many, many things, and most things in our lives, is off-tee piss. You don't like what we're wearing? Off-tee piss. You don't like what I said? Off-tee piss. You don't think I should be doing this or that? Off-tee piss. You don't like the way I did this or said this or didn't do this enough, or that I said right too many times? Off-tee piss. Didn't ask you to be here, didn't invite you. Some people will message me and say, if you keep up with this, I'm just going to unsubscribe. Frickin' unsubscribe, babe. Like, I don't need you to be around if you don't want to be. I couldn't give a monkey's armpit. If you want to unsubscribe, you don't need to tell me about it though. Like, it's going to be like, I'm going to be like, oh my God, no, don't go. I need you. I don't. Many people make the mistake of thinking, don't they? And this is important for you guys, right? In order for someone to affect you, and many, many people do, and we let people affect us that we shouldn't. But you have to go through this, right? You have to think, do I value that person's opinion? Now, some people, you do, like it's a parent or it's a, someone you care about. That's fine, you do value that. And there are people whose opinions we value. But then there's just arseholes, right? And dickheads. You don't, or the woman from HR who's chubby and overweight and has bad highlights. We'll discuss my new hair in a minute. You don't have to value that person's opinion, even if that's your employer. You have to respect them at work and do what they ask you to do. You don't have to value their opinion personally in your personal life. So have a little think to yourself when someone's like, oh yeah, as I was saying, or what do people email when they're being passive aggressive? As per my last. Oh, stick your last up your arse. When people say that to me, as per my last, delete. As per your last, off-tee piss. You don't need to bring attitude if I haven't replied to your email just like that. I'm trying my bloody best. Usually I'm lying under some hurricane or an immigration officer or, being deported. You might not get the answer you want straight away. So always ask yourself, do I, in your little heart, do I value that person? Should I be allowing them to make me feel this way? And if the answer is no, decide you won't. Right, let me update you as to where the hell I am and what I've been up to. So I am now in America, the land of the free, and I am, although obviously Biden's dickhead, and he's completely fucked up on Afghanistan and left everybody behind, and $83 billion worth of equipment. I mean, I'm forgetful, and since my epilepsy and my brain surgery, and they took out, quite a bit of my brain, bits of my memory have gone with that, and seizures cause you to have early onset dementia. Maybe that's where I'm at. So I'm forgetful, but I think if I use Biden as the bar, I've never forgotten $85 billion of kit and equipment in a country. I've never forgotten my own people. I've never forgotten servicemen, and I sure as hell wouldn't be leaving anybody behind. So that's a whole new level, right? This tour is called Stand Up, because that's kind of how I felt about it. And it's not just that it's the opposite of kneeling down, which is a load of old shit, and everybody needs to stop doing that at bloody football matches and the rest of it, because it's just tragic to see big old boys kneeling down for no reason just because their boss told them, or they're trying to look right on. Freaking stand up. And if the rest of your teammates want to kneel down, let them. Why don't you give them a pillow? Ask them, do you want to have a little lie down as well? Have a little lie down. Will that help black people? I don't know, will it? Give them a pillow. Bring a pillow onto the pitch, perhaps. Have a little lie down. But that's the opposite of where I'm at. And it's not that I'm doing anti-Black Lives Matter. I'm just saying, freaking stand up. because we need more and more people to stand up, don't we? Because of the chaos that's going on all around us. So I'm going to be here in the States. I've been on the road now for 30 days so far. I will be on the road. I'm moving every day, every other day for September, for October, for most of November. You can find tickets on Eventbrite. You can find me on the road, probably schlepped in some Hampton Inn foyer somewhere, weeping into my suitcase, looking for my cherries. And I will get progressively more bedraggled as time goes on. But you went too far. And where am I now? I'm in Arizona. Arizona will go to Las Vegas and Colorado. I don't know what that's for. You don't have to do that when you say Vegas, do you? I don't have to do, but I'm going to. Colorado, Texas, Florida. I'm all at Salt Lake City. It's going to be exciting. So you can join me online. We're going to share some talks online. It's going to be part comedy, part tragedy, part stories of my life, part all of the disasters. Did you get the vaccine? We'll get to that. No. All of the disasters, you know, I overshare massively in every sense. I see people in the audience, you know, some people who've hosted me, or maybe we're doing the talk in a church. And you see people like visibly wincing as I go way too far down certain routes. But you know what? We can't be pretending, can we? I know some sort of conservatives like to pretend they still don't know where children come from. Freaking breaking news, look, we all do. So let's get over ourselves a little bit. So I get asked all the time, have I had a vaccine? No. So someone else will ask probably in a minute, have you had the vaccine? It's still going to be a no. And it's going to be a no anytime. I'm just trying to show off my unvaccinated arms. Whilst flexing, obviously. Shall I act like I'm not flexing? Just look like I'm trying to have a poop. I've not been vaccinated. And everybody that, you know, is asking every single time, there's only so many times I can say no. And so at that point, I have to really say to people, you know what? I've got to let you believe what you want, haven't I? I've got to let you... Do I look like now I don't have a body and I'm just like a head on knees? Okay, I might have done a weird thing. So I haven't been vaccinated. I will never have the state injectable, and I will never have it. I will never, ever. It doesn't matter what they take. It doesn't matter if it gets to imprisonment. I reconciled with imprisonment a very long time ago. There is nothing they can do to me to make me have the state injectable. Not one thing. There is nothing they can do to me. They can hang me from a rope. I will not take that jab. They can say they're going to shoot me. It doesn't matter. I'm going down without the state injectable. There's no line. There's no line. Same with so much of my life now. You know, there's nothing someone can take from me or threaten me with that will make me do something or unsay something or not say something. There is nothing. If my Instagram goes as we surely expect it will, that will be okay as well, because we'll know that all I was doing was this. And it will just be another sign of what we already know, is that you can't speak truth in our countries today. And that's been true for me for 15 years. So that's me and the vaccine. Same as people say I'm controlled opposition. The only thing I can say to that is, who do you think is paying me to say the shit that I come out with? I don't get it. Who the shit is benefiting from me? I don't really know. Israel, you think? Well, I've just criticised their whole... I mean, please do look at Israel, the statistics for Israel. What's the answer to 2 vaccines not working? Oh, it must be another 4. Nice one, Israel. Very, very good, very good. Some people say it's Russia. I wish Putin would pay me. I wish. I mean, he's had too much plastic surgery, but I wish. So when people say I'm controlled opposition, or you hear that, please do ask them who's benefiting from what comes out of her mouth. Like, I talk about my labia way more than I should. Let me tell you, where I currently am, there is a place, and it would be childish of me to go and do a short clip there later. So I definitely won't be doing that. But it's like called Mile High. And it would be absolutely inappropriate for me to just have a base level humour about Mile High things, but yeah, I'm definitely going to do that later. Right, so I wanted to talk about the vaccine just to reassure you. And how did I get here? What I think is wrong with the vaccine. So I call it a state injectable because it's not, it doesn't matter if you want to call it a vaccine, but I would always stick to state injectable because according to normal definitions, it wouldn't normally be called a vaccine. And also because my chance of being fine if I was to catch something that might be COVID, my recovery rate is 99.999.99999%. And also then you've got to layer on the Hopkins factor, which means I ain't going down. I've done bacterial meningitis. I've done bad stuff that I got better from. So because my recovery rate's so high, I won't be having it. And also I personally wouldn't have it because I personally don't trust what its intentions are. I want to do my route here to help people asking about that, but I'm disgusted with the government. I cannot believe I rallied behind Boris Johnson ever. And I think it's the most despicable bunch of individuals I've ever had this displeasure to see and meet some of operating in the House. None of them deserve to be there. They're all lying to everybody. I know politicians are liars. I accepted that a long time ago. But to say we're not having vaccine passports and then, of course, 2 seconds later, vaccine passports. To say we're following the science. We're following the science. And every scientist looks like a fucking weirdo. You've got the guy who looks like he was involved in a serious heat incident. The guy without the eyebrows who can't use a clicker, never had sex, doesn't have children. And that's fine, because that's his personal choice and we mustn't mock people on how they look. But if that's following the science, I don't really want to follow that. You know what I mean? And Jean-Claude Van Damme, Professor Van Damme. And I know he's got a cult following because people think he's really cool the way he explains. I know his type. He gives my spider senses go off with that Jean Van Damme twat. He knows what he's doing. And his whole slow explaining, I'm going to explain this all like you're all a bunch of very, intellectually challenged 2-year-olds, and meanwhile look like a fat roly-poly, He knows what he's doing. What is his bloody name? Someone help me. It's not Van Damme, Van Tam, Pam, Pam, JVTLVMPQ. Anyway, Dolly, someone will help me in a minute. There we are, Van Tam. Gives me the creeps. Exactly. So Van Tam, I get this. So there's some people, it happens in the street for me. I get a current that goes through me and I can ping them real fast that they're not authentic. Van Tam is that. He's a very, very, very good actor and he's acting the role of innocent scientist. And it's very disturbing. I actually think he's got an ego way bigger than a lot of other politicians. Then you've got Hancock trying to imagine he can tell us what to do if he's pissed off with his latest shag, which is a nightmare. Let me tell you that. I can talk to you about affairs up the yin-yang. Hancock is totally pissed on his chips. It's just disgusting. The government are disgusting and I feel guilty that I ever supported Boris Johnson. But the way that you're being lied to and the thing that everything has gone back on, so we're following the science. Oh, we're going to follow the science. And I'm like, yeah, sod off the science, which just seems to make its own shit up every day. But then now the science said, no, we're not going to inject 12-year-olds. And so what are we doing now? Wait, we're not going to follow the science. Oh, sorry, no. So we were going to follow the science, but now we're not going to follow the science because the science, we don't like what the science said, so now we're just going to follow the money. Okay, brilliant. Can we have some wanker banker now? Going, next slide please, yeah. Next slide please, yeah. I'm just going to do some trades. So yeah, we're now going to follow the money and we're going to inject 12-year-olds because we're going to follow the money. That would be more honest, right? Let's not pretend we're going to follow the science. Let's just be honest. We're going to follow the money. We get buckets of cash. The more boosters we can stick in people. They've just come up with the new variant, right? If you've seen it, it's called the MU. What variant have you got? Oh, I've got the Delta. What have you got? Oh, I've got the Who came up with that shit? Anyway, so with the variant, it appears that variant, hello. New words. With variant, it appears that we're going to follow the money. So we can have a wanker banker talking, next to Boris with a clicker because wanker bankers can work clickers, right? And then they could talk about the variant and how we're now going to inject 12-year-olds because 12-year-olds can decide shit for themselves. My 16-year-old messaged me the other day and was like, Mum, I got a library card. And she was kind of taking the piss because we had to get like 155 letters of permission. I had to like give blood, give DNA, have a smear test for my daughter to be able... Did you need that whole thing? You didn't, did you? I had to have a smear test in order for my daughter to get a library card. So just if you're an American watching this, I didn't have to have a smear test to get the library card. Right? It's like an English form of funny, right? It's like sarcasm. Yes, so British people don't, just before this comes out when I'm on tour and people are like, did you really have to have a smear test to get your daughter a library card? No, I didn't get my vagina out, but I would have, have done often for other reasons, immigration control. No, so she got a library card and it was like, we had to prove 100 billion things for a library card for boring books at 16, but suddenly if you're 12 and you're at school and you're just fancying a bit of a jib jab that you don't know what's in it, you don't know what the liquid is, but your mates are having it, and some weirdo teacher who doesn't eat meat is saying, definitely have this, it's great, I love it, yeah, brilliant. 12-year-olds can now decide what the shit they're going to do. Poor guy giving you the COVID test. Yeah, there's been a lot of them. And I will say, actually, the last COVID test, I did start to unbuckle my trousers, but just as a jokes. And the fear I'm thinking Mohammed's face, who appeared to basically, he appeared that he may have just I'm not being in any way racist or casting aspersions, but Mohammed did appear that he may have only just arrived in the UK a couple of days prior. He seemed quite surprised to find himself in a COVID testing centre. He couldn't work out gloves. And I don't want to cast aspersions, but if you can't work out the glove, I'm feeling like you might not be from the medical profession. I don't know. Call me a racist. Call me a far right-wing nationalist, supremacist, misogynist, Islamophobe. I'm just saying. Mohammed, who was aged, I would say about 6, couldn't work out gloves. So I was just undoing my trousers just as a sort of funny bunny, These are the sorts of funny bunnies, though, that do get me deported. As you will recall, me doing a funny bunny here with the arms, where I said I would cover myself in baby oil and make a run for it down the quarantine hotel corridor in order to be grabbed luxuriously by a battalion of military men. That was what got me deported from Australia. Never even showed my vagina to anyone. It's quite disappointing, really. No one saw my boobs, not in the whole of well, maybe the guy in the road outside when I was, but in terms of inwardly, no one saw them. Nothing. So anyway, yes, so I was just pretending to undo my trousers just to scare Mohammed a bit because he had no right really being in a COVID testing centre. Okay, let's talk about travel. People are laughing. Don't piss yourself. We get to an age, don't we? I was running the other day and I made the mistake of coughing. Holy Jesus. Just like, someone get me a hairdryer. And if you want to be on here and tell me you've never dried your armpits or your crotch with a hairdryer, you're not my kind of person. I've had to do it a lot, because I'm on stuff a lot, I'm on stage a lot, I either have sweat or stuff or drips. There's just stuff, there's a lot. And we've talked about this before, haven't we? The day I got caught trying to dry, was it my armpit or my bits? I was trying to dry something, but in a Dyson blade. So I was like trying to dry off, and I was caught trying to insert myself into a Dyson blade dryer in a bathroom. So it was sort of one of my more humiliating moments, although there's been a lot. So what happens, yes, this travel thing of mine. People ask me about how did I get here? How do I do this? How do I do this? And I honestly can't be like the travel guy, we've discussed this, that I can't give you that advice. And I know this is going to sound like a pompous twat thing to say, but honestly, frozen for you. Wait, did I come back? Does moving help? If it's frozen for you, how on earth is me wiggling helping anyone? It totally isn't, but I'm terribly sorry. I totally blame Hilton. I know I'm in a Hilton. I'm so fancy. So the other day I was staying in a Motel 6. Oh, state of mind. So my travel plans are a state of mind, right? I decide like this, I'm going and I'm going. I can't really give people the step by step because it doesn't go like that. I can't guarantee anything. And when I leave my home, I could be back there in a day, it could be back in 2 days. Australia, I could be returned like a little boomerang covered in baby oil who didn't actually show her vagina to anyone. So, you know, there's a lot of risk and there's a lot of turning up places without somewhere to stay. And there's a lot of, you know, real schlepping inconvenience and the possibility someone's going to say no. So there is no route I can give you. What I can say for certain is definitely if there's one place you must go to Mexico. Mexicans couldn't give a shit about whether you've had a jibby jab, whether you've had a test, whether you've had whatever. They could not give a shit, right? They couldn't give a shit. They just want people in their country. Go and spend some money in Mexico, they love you. So in order to make this journey to America this time, I came via Mexico. I also have friends who would bring me across the border if required in a van. I'd totally do that. If Biden's letting everyone in that way, then bollocks to it. Why not me? And I went to Mexico, but then British government being earthballs cancelled down. Earthballs. Do we know about this? This is so important, isn't it, for Katie's arms? So women have code speak. So if I'm talking about my vagina in public, I will say, I had a real problem with my vagina. And I will do that, and that's like code speak. So if you're a guy on here, you've got no chance of understanding this because this is girl codes. Every girl on here knows this. So we would say, I've got my period. And that means we've got our period. Did you see? But because we put it in code, period, no one knows. And so it was like, I've got a problem with my vagina. Like that, and that's code. Shit, I've forgotten where I was going with this story. That's so funny. What was I doing with code speak in Mexico? I don't know. My husband tells me though with code speak that all it is me saying something louder and more clearly than I otherwise would, right? Vagina. It's so true. I will keep badgering you. For what? What do you want from me? So what I would say is try and go to Mexico if you can, because they don't give a toss. The British government cancelled down flights to Mexico when I was booked on mine. So this is my point about I can't really help you because my plans just go up the shitter and then I just flex. So I then flew to Spain. I hid in Spain and then I got on a plane in Spain. And then from Spain, I went to Mexico, and from Mexico City, where no one goes because it kills more journalists than anywhere else, I went to Cancun. And then I waited in Cancun, and then Hurricane Grace came and bashed into Cancun, exactly where I was, right? And it was brilliant. I don't know if you've ever been in a hurricane, but it's amazing. And I wouldn't say that if it's category 4, I'm sure. But I just loved her. I loved her power. I loved that she didn't give a shit what she broke. Like I felt, I've got a lot of hurricane things that I share. She just ripped shit up. She pissed on people's heads. Hurricane Grace was brilliant. I thought she was terrific. And she just bowled on through and no one could stop her. And I guess in a way, Hurricane Grace became like how I feel about travel, right? Is that I'm coming. So you better either make a choice, like get out of my way, or I'm gonna hurt you. And I don't mean that necessarily in a physically violent way, but that offer is also there. I was putting up, please do look for this footage of the French lady who was violently attacked for just trying to go about her business without a vaccine passport. And someone was saying, that'll be you and me next, Barbara, in Asda. And that's where I'm like, come on then, because I feel like that's when I want to be around when that happens, because then people would have to get through me to get to you, and that's how I feel about this whole thing, right? Look, it's going to set me off again, isn't it? If I could make it that all of these bastards had to get through me to get to you, that's what I would do. And I suppose that's always been my attitude, right? Is that I always wanted to make it that people had to get past me to be able to hurt someone else, because that wouldn't happen. Or at least I would buy them time. And I think maybe partly that's what this is about as well, isn't it? It's about trying to be on the pointy end to buy some time so everybody else can kind of get ready. Or if you are in trouble and I'm nearby, always call because I'll be there. So that's how I feel. So yeah, I was staying at Motel 6. People think I'm like fancy, right? This is fancy. This is like $100. I stayed at Motel 6 the other night. I don't know if you know what Motel 6 are, but Motel 6 are like, if you ever watch a movie and like there's drug dealers, or like if you're just going to have sex for 10 minutes, you go to a Motel 6. Like there was, Wuhan has nothing on my blanket that was on my bed in the Motel 6. And I love it, right? Because you're in amongst it, and then next door you can hear the family arguing, and then next door there's like craziness going on, and like the pool is literally, there was a pool at the Motel 6, but I think it was just filled with semen. And I think that's like a novel idea, just your sort of ejaculation fluids. I just wasn't so tempted to get in. Anyway, I had to turn up at this fair, so I needed a hairdryer to try and look like I'd like got my shit together. I never have my shit together. We've discussed this. I have to dry my bits with a Dyson blade. So I go down to the lovely lady at front desk and I said, oh, am I troubling you? Am I bothering you? And she said, no, you're not bothering me. I have nothing else. Like it was a really weird word. I have nothing else. It was like, I don't know, it's just this lady on a highway manning a reception in the Motel 6 behind, like, you know, they have all of these barricades and metal sheets and stuff in case these people get stabbed. So I was like, you don't happen to have a hairdryer? She goes, yes, I'll get it for you. And she comes out, right, of the behind the metal casing she operates behind where I stayed in the Motel 6 with a hairdryer. But the thing the hairdryer was attached to, you literally had to push it along. It was literally like a weighted roller trolley. Like... in order that no one would steal the hairdryer, it was attached to something bigger than me, and I had to try and get it to my room at the Motel 6. So I guess anyone that thinks I'm fancy, people say, oh, she's a grifter, she's on the road to make money. No, I'm in a Motel 6 with a semen swimming pool and a hairdryer attached to something massive. But I love that, right? Because you get a proper sense of what the reason I can articulate things is because I feel them, and I'm usually smeared with them, right? Okay, what did I want to touch about? So that was my route here, why I'm doing here. I'm here till the end. Criticism about not doing it in the UK. And people are like, you should be focused in the UK. Why aren't you in the UK? Why are you just sodding off to America? What if a shit do we give about America? Who gives a shit about the Republican deal? Well, A, you know, off to your piss. And B, here's my challenge to you. If you're one of those, why aren't you in the UK? Why don't you do this in the UK? Find me a venue. Find me a theatre. I will bring the army. I will bring the lads. I have enough security offers from brilliant, strong men. We can raise ourselves a Katie's Arms army of beautiful men who will create a perimeter and protect the audience. Find me a theatre that will let us do the Katie's Arms. Find me somewhere that will let me do my stand-up, and I will be there in 10 minutes. Well, it'll take me a while, but I will be there. So that, you want to know why I don't do this in the UK? Because I can't have a venue, because the left will burn it down and they will lob rocks, as has happened in Brighton, at the people who attend, and they will smash doorways. That's why I can't do it in the UK. Okay, I don't want to end on the negative. So I quickly wanted to just refresh our little ideas about just remembering, you know, because a lot of people are taking a kicking. I could read you emails, but they set me off every time. You know, a lady whose son has just started with his apprenticeship, an electrical apprenticeship. What an amazing thing. Brilliant, brilliant career choice. Brilliant decision by that boy. You know, apprenticeships in plastering, brickwork, plumbing, bloody brilliant. And he's been told he has to have the jab if he wants to go and work with the guy who's giving the apprenticeship, because it's a lot of work in care homes. And so that's it over before it's begun. Please don't think like that. Just stall. Just go into like a holding pattern over Heathrow. Remember, in the days where you used to fly. Bad analogy by me. Go as if you're driving around Sainsbury's looking for a car parking space. Why do people do that? Just park freaking far away and walk, you lazy bastards. And just go into a holding pattern. Don't be obligated into rushing into a decision. Don't rush a decision on whether you're going to get injected, right? Just have some time. So remember, we talked about breathing in and out, right? We're not shrews where we're going to be moles where we come to the surface and we scoop the air, right? Scoop your air in, big and long and hard, right? Proper breaths. Do not just breathe like some weird defibrillator in the corner of the room. Like, you're going to scoop in the air. The thing we didn't do last time was when you breathe out, and this is really good to do in the morning if you wake up and the first thing you do is start to worry. Imagine that worry. Hold on, I'm getting a sock in order to demonstrate. Don't ask me why there's just, I know why there's one sock. Because when I run, I put my phone in my bra top and I put my phone in the sock so that my sweaty boobs don't kill my phone. That's what this sock is. See? I tell you, it's just, I'm so insta-fabulous, aren't I? I'm all about the posing and the acting cool. Yeah, this is my sweaty boob bra sock. So when you start to think negative things in the morning, right? Oh, what about that? What if that doesn't work out and that's not going to happen how I wanted and I can't believe this. So you get that. We will demonstrate it with the singular cherry sad earring. You feel like, so you're doing big breaths in, right? Like a mole. But your negative stuff about, oh, the shit, this might not go the way I wanted. You're going to put it into a little bubbly thing like this. And then when you breathe out, right? You're going to be like a leaf blower. And you're just going to think to yourself, you know what, let that stuff go. And so you breathe it out. You're just going to, when you breathe out your big long breath, you're also going to breathe out some of the shit you're going to worry about. And you're going to think, do you know what, I'll pick that up a little bit later. I'll pick that up after I've had a coffee. I'll have another little think about that in a bit, right? So and then you think, I'll pick that up later. And wait till later on when you've had a coffee and you've had something to eat and you're feeling all right, or maybe you've had a little shower or you've done your little face or you feel a bit better about yourself, and then have a think about it if you want, but then stop that, put it away again. Yes, so you must offload shit, get it out of your head, make space to allow yourself to feel okay. That's how I've always processed all of this stuff for 15 years and why I've got pretty good at it, to allow myself to try and make space to keep going. Right, so I wanted to end on something that was useful and helpful and something that I also do. I think that's it from me. I've taken more time than I should have. Long-winded. Either that I'm long-winded, the explanation is, or life is. I don't really, again, if it's a criticism, off to piss. And I'm sorry if I didn't get to many of your questions. My tits are sweaty too. This is it. More people need to talk about this. It's just a truth. That's why we get these. I don't get them because mine are too small. But the ladies that have overhanging ones have to get under there and dry. That's a whole other thing. How has no one invented an under boob blower? These are the questions. Right, thank you for joining me at the Katie's Arms. I hope you found laughter somewhere along the way. Please come and find me on the road if you are here in America. You can email me, katie@katiehopkins.co.uk, and I can send you links to the tickets. Some of them are super cheap, where we're just covering the cost of the venue, and some people charge for stuff, I don't know. But I'll be in the Motel 6 wheeling my hairdryer along past the pool of semen. So please don't imagine that I'm luxuriating on your dime. And I will update with a time when I do have drinks, when we will do the next Katie's Arms. And until then, I thank you. Thank you for all of your kind things that you say. I appreciate it. And don't be too kind, otherwise you'll set me going again. And so I will see you soon, and I will put it on here when we're going to have the Katie's Arms. And until then, hold on to joy. Try and let go of bad and hold on to things that make you laugh or things that make you happy, and try and do more of them. That's honestly one of the only ways we're going to get through all of this. Okay, I'll see you all next time.